Good day. For your attention, the situation at the front on November 5. Starobelsk direction. At the Kupyansky sector, the armed forces of Ukraine are restoring the combat capability of units of the 14th Mechanized Brigade after the failure of the offensive on Yagodnoye. At the strong points of the connection, rotation is carried out. Soldiers of the 14th Brigade are spreading information about the disappearance of the brigade commander, Colonel Okhrimenko, after being accused by the SBU of mass losses of personnel. On the Svatovsky section in the direction of Kolomyychikha, Kuzemovka, a Ukrainian DRG from the 71st Jaeger Brigade is operating, which crossed the Zherebets River the day before. UAV crews of the 14th and 92nd Brigade are actively reconnaissance of the positions of the Russian armed forces along the line of contact Pervomayskoye, Kovalevka. Artillery of the armed forces of Ukraine is firing at the identified targets. It is planned to transfer the 233rd Battalion of the 128th Brigade of the Territorial Defense of the Armed Forces of Ukraine to the Stelmovka area to carry out the rotation of personnel. Engineering units of the 92nd Brigade are equipping additional strongholds. In the Limansky sector, assault groups of the 66th Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine attack the positions of the RF armed forces in the direction of Ploshchunka. Russian troops repelled the offensive. To strengthen the front lines, ATGM crews and artillery ammunition from Slavyansk were transferred to the Nevsky area. UAV operators of the Russian armed forces revealed the movement of the supply column of the armed forces of Ukraine. Artillery fire hit at least one armored fighting vehicle with ammunition for Ukrainian formations. Solidar direction. In the Bakhmut area, the Wagner PMC assault detachments continue to advance on the southeastern outskirts of Bakhmut and in the vicinity of experienced Ukrainian formations to contain Russian troops are firing at the areas of Ivangrad, Otradovka, Vesela Dolina, Zayatsevo. The forces of the armed forces of Ukraine attempted a counteroffensive in the area of experienced and Kuryamovka. During the fighting, units of the Russian armed forces repelled the attack and pushed the Ukrainian formations back to their starting lines. Losses of 53 Omber amounted to 31 killed and 33 people received varying degrees of severity. The wounded were evacuated to Konstantinovka and Klishchivka. The command of the OTG Solidar of the Armed Forces of Ukraine is preparing for battles in the residential buildings of Bakhmut. It is planned to transfer units of the 112th Brigade of Territorial Defense from the Kiev region to the settlement. At the same time, a plan was developed to abandon Bakhmut in the event of a breakthrough in the defense and the formation of a new line at the turn of Chasov Yar, Konstantinovka. In the area of these settlements, assault groups are being trained. At the Lysychansk sector of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Russian troops are expected to attack Belogorovka. NATO countries transmitted intelligence about the transfer of the 12th Wagner PMC assault detachment in full force in the vicinity of Lysychansk. According to the main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine, they will form the backbone of the offensive grouping on Belogorovka. Nikolaev-Berislav direction. The Ukrainian command is restoring the combat capability of the units. In the past few days, the intensity of shelling of forward positions along the line of contact has increased. It is likely that the Ukrainian formations are preparing artillery before a possible offensive. In the Nikolaev sector, the Ukrainian military is conducting a massive mortar and artillery shelling of the areas of Alexandrovka, Pravdino, Ternovipod, Yagodnoye, Vasilka from positions in Stepova Dolina, Kherson, Luperovo, and Novogrigorovka. To combat Russian drones, KVSG-6 anti-drone guns have been delivered to the front lines of the Ukrainian army. Mutual shelling continues in the Andrevsky sector. A mortar battery in Sukhoi Stavka and an artillery battery of the Ukrainian army in Malaya Alexandrivka fired at the Karlo-Marksovsky Staritsa and Sotok-Berezhinsky lines. Artillery fire from the Russian armed forces hit the stationing point of the Ukrainian military personnel in the vicinity of Davidov Brod. The exact number of deaths is unknown. Two Mi-8 helicopters from Davidov Brod carried out the removal of the bodies of the dead and wounded, about 20 people, to Berezhnegovody. In the Berislav sector, Ukrainian fighters are spreading information about the imminent arrival of significant reinforcements for the assault on Kherson. Artillery crews of the Ukrainian army from the position area in Petropavlovka are firing indiscriminately at the Pyaty-Kotki Polyanka line south of Dutkin. See you soon.